Krishnamurti described the secret of his life once in a talk. "Let me tell you my secret," he said. And everybody thought, finally he's telling us. We've been waiting for 30 years for it. Come to every talk. And every talk was like sand running through their fingers. There's nothing there to grasp. Of course there wasn't, because he was pointing to something that's beyond content. So people were hoping to take something home after a talk, and then they went back home and said, "What did he talk about?" He said, "I don't know, it's gone." This may happen to you also. Especially since you're not getting a folder with 100 steps for the next 10 years. This is what we did. So he said, "You want to know my secret?" "Yeah." "I don't mind what happens." That's it. So most of the people didn't get it, because they thought, what next? Well, he's going to say something else, surely. So, but what does that mean? I don't mind what happens means my life is not based on content. The content of my life. I described that in the book as your life and your life situation. And what most people call my life, what they're really referring to, is their life situation. That's what they call my life. Their divorce, or their next marriage, or the relationship they have now, and their job situation, and their health situation, and their living situation, and their financial situation. That's my life. What else is there? So basically it boils down for most people to these things: the physical situation, healthy or not healthy, their age, their relationship, marriage, divorce, their financial circumstances, the place where they live, the work that they do, this work situation, their function in society, how society sees them, what society tells them about them, whether they're important or not. And the weirdest, most insane people are important in this world, and many of wise people are not important. So that's all totally mixed up. It's totally irrelevant, of course. It's nothing to do with your importance, but that's how people see their lives. When I go to LA, there are many people who are desperately wanting to be famous actors. The city is full of people who want to be famous actors, and it's just in the nature of things that only a small fraction of those can become famous. It's just not, there can't be that many famous actors, because otherwise if everybody's famous, then it's meaningless. It won't serve the ego anymore. And so many of them are, if they don't go beyond, fortunately some of them come to our talks and then they see beyond that and go beyond that. But if they don't go beyond that, many of those, their life is condemned to be frustrating and to what they would see as a failure, a failed existence. I could have become a great actor, but nobody discovered me. And then they miss hundreds of other things that they could do or could have done, but primarily they would miss who they are beyond the content of their lives. So all that is the content, and that is what happens or doesn't happen. And the moment you become still, or the moment you allow the content of this moment to be as it is, not what I regard my life situation, but simply the content of this moment, just this moment, to allow that. You don't allow your life situation. That doesn't work, because your life situation is an abstraction. It's a story. So the story says, my life has failed up to now, but maybe I can still make it. Or it says, I've lost it all, there's no point in starting again. I might as well accept that, because Eckhart says we should accept. But that's a story in your head. It's an interpretation, and it's totally meaningless to say that your life has failed, that you can't make it. These are all stories. That's not what acceptance is about. You're not being asked to accept a story in the head, but that you're telling yourself and others about your life. Acceptance is only to do with the form that the present moment takes.